so many Priini, so many of them. Halikarnassus, which is just opposite to Kos, present-day Bodrum. That period from the 9th to the 7th is called geometric, if you want to look at them chronologically and as they are named historically. And then is the archaic period, the 6th century BC. By the end of the 7th, was developed the so-called black figure style vases, the archaic period, the most beautiful ever created vases that you can see them today in museums all over the world, almost. And then the red figure style vases. These are the vases of today, ceramicists copy, continuously. And still some of them haven't sold. One major problem, this glazing of these great vases, how, durable they are up to date, 2,500 years, and still in excellent condition. So, the 5th century is marked by a couple of very important events. The Persian Wars. The Rhodians were forced in the second attempt because the first was faced by Athenians and some other, let's say, allies of Athens in Marathon, where they defeated Darius' troops in Marathon battle. And in the second time, Xerxes, the son of Darius, will attempt once again to punish and destroy, of course, the Greek cities, and we don't know how far he would go, but the point is that he was defeated once again in Salamis, the well-known Salamis sea battle, where the fleet of Xerxes was destroyed, most of it was destroyed there, and at that time the Rhodians were forced by Xerxes and his admirals, when they sailed by Rhodes, forced the Rhodians to follow them, to fight on their side. Talking about 480 BC, before Christ era. So these two great victories, and with a couple of other victories after that, the time when this Xerxes returned home, definitely been defeated, but at the same time leaving Greece behind to create what they created in the 5th century BC, the so-called classical period. The settlements will develop, will become much more important, the cities. The sanctuaries will be enlarged and fully developed, and great temples and numerous statues, great schools of sculpture and architecture will develop. Everything almost, besides the schools of philosophy, astronomy, and so on and so forth. So here in Rhodes, the three cities will merge in the end of the 5th century BC with the help of Dorieus, the son of Diagoras. Diagoras was an Olympic ruler. He was from Ialissus originally, one of the three cities, Ialissus, the nearest to the city of Rhodes. And his third son, Dorieus, who was a pro-Spartan and helped the Spartans against the Athenians in the Peloponnesian War, he came back to his island in around 410 and managed to convince the Alicians, Camerians, the Lindians, all to build a new city. And that new city was the city of Rhodes. A city built following the Hippodamian system. Hippodamus was from Miletus, designed several cities in terraces and with parallel vertical streets, designing thoroughfares, procession, in other words, roads for the processions, the sanctuaries and everything, as he did here in Rhodes. One of the cities that he had, designed to be built following that system, the Hippodamos system, Hippodamian. The city of Rhodes developed in the coming centuries and became one of the most powerful cities. Ruled most of the times by, the Democrats, because there were always two ruling parties, the Democrats and the aristocrats. With 5 harbors, Rhodes will be the city, and with the construction of Alexandria, after being founded by Alexander the Great, developed the best trade relations, and definitely very good relations with the Ptolemaic kingdom after Alexander's death, because Ptolemeus was one of the generals and the one when they divided Alexander's great empire into 4 kingdoms. The Ptolemies got Egypt with the capital city Alexandria. The Seleucids Syria with the capital city Seleucia, but later on Antioch built Antiochia. The Attalids Pergamon as the capital city, and Cassandros, Thessaloniki in Greek Macedonia, because we got another Macedonia and we're a bit confused with that. So would be the Romans, because those kingdoms, continuous territorial conflicts will bring them into wars among themselves, and so the Romans would be the ones coming up as a powerful, let's say, nation, and sometimes were called by those, let's say, kingdoms or kings being, ruling them, to help them against, the other, Hellenistic kingdom. So this is how they, came in, the Romans, and gradually will become the rulers. After having defeated the last of the Ptolemies, Cleopatra, the 7th, in the year 31 at Actium in Greece with Mark Antony. And of course a couple of years later, Octavius Augustus would enter Alexandria, and that was the end of it. This is the countryside, ladies and gentlemen, as you see, with olive trees here and there, some Aleppo pines, pine trees you can see, forests of pines in the mountains. We had some unfortunate fires years ago. We were lucky that in the last few years we haven't had any of that. Rivers without water, late summer now. These are not rivers as to your standards, but I'm talking about with the Rhodian standards. The water reservoirs built in the recent years beyond these mountains, and so there is no water running down, because it's very essential to have water, in a water reservoir, so you can provide water, the settlements, the villages, the cities, as well as the city of Rhodes, which is a major, let's say, demand. These villages here produce the best of oranges and mandarins too. Malona and Masari, the two on the right. There's also a small village by the front with another name named Haraki. As you hear it with CH, Haraki, and with in one of the bays, the other one is Santa Agata, and an ancient settlement there, as well as an acropolis from the Hellenistic times. Today abandoned and unfortunately not restored, in a bad state. Lindos was one of the most important of the three cities. Lindos Sanctuary became one of the most famous among the other three in the island, due to the epiphany of the goddess Athena many times, and particularly at hard times, times where Lindos was attacked, even once, by the Persians. Torrential rain, boulders of rock, snow. Those epiphanies, epiphany means the appearance of the deity, to protect her sanctuary, also the Lindian city.